Hello, this is Ken. I am moving right now. I have so many figures to pack and so many figures to wrap. I also have a bunch of diorama displays I have to move as well. I have no idea how this move is gonna go. So join my adventure as I ask myself this: will they make it? In my previous video, I said goodbye to my toy room because I'm moving to a new place. But let's rewind a little bit. Let me know if this is a universal thing for all toys lovers. When I was a kid, I had all these imaginary sets for my toys. The couch was the home base for the good guys, and the bad guys were on the other seat. Every day they would invade each other and fight. It was episodic. The good guys would win one day and then the bad guys the next. At the end of each day, I had to put the toys away, back into the buckets and bins. Otherwise, my family would have nowhere to chill. So for the longest time, I never got to display my toys, especially during my teenage years, where I had to suppress my love for them. I only really started displaying my figures once I reached adulthood. I still didn't really want people to know I was collecting toys, so I limited to only having 1 or 2 toy shelves. But as time went on, the urge of having my dream toy wall just kept growing. I just wanted one pretty wall, you know? And in 2020, I finally got my own toy room. It was so special because I built this room by myself. Okay, I just bought and put IKEA shelves together, but you get what I mean. And that's when I started my YouTube channel. I finally don't have to hide my toys. And best of all, my displays are no longer imaginary. I get to translate what's in my head into actual real physical displays. And you guys get to witness my journey. And a couple more years later, I now have this awesome toy display wall that I'm just so proud of. Nothing lasts forever. All good things must come to an end. I'll never get this particular wall back, but that doesn't mean my next one won't be better. But before I get there, I need to pack everything up first. I've already packed up a portion of it in my last video. I packed up my Dragon Ball, DC, and Hot Toys figures. It is time to pack the rest. Let's start with my War Machines. I love all my War Machine figures here, especially this Mark 1. If there's a figure I can't believe I have, it is this one. I know it's not technically a Marvel Legends figure, but this was the MCU figure I desperately wanted. I did get other Mark 1 figures over the years, including Hot Toys, but they never filled that Mark 1 void. That was until I randomly found him at my local comic book store. It felt like seeing a mythical creature in the wild. I couldn't believe my eyes. Most of the MCU War Machine designs are pretty cool, except for the random endgame suit Rhodey wore in the first half of the movie, and the first Iron Patriot. Those 2 suits are my least favorite. It's not a coincidence that those were the suits with the least amount of bulk. There are 2 main reasons why I prefer War Machine over Iron Man. First, it's because of the black and white color scheme. But the main reason is because of all the guns and missiles all over the armor. The Iron Patriot and the first endgame suit were just too sleek for my liking. I really liked the Infinity War suit. It was the perfect upgrade from the Civil War one. It looked more powerful and it wasn't too bulky, but it was still a nice contrast against the all-sleek Iron Man suit. Does anyone know why Marvel Legends didn't release this figure? I had to get the much more expensive SH Figuarts version, but it was worth it. Instead, they released the endgame concept art version of War Machine. I remember seeing a leaked image of the concept art, and that little glimpse of him in the trailer, and I was so hyped. But when the movie came out, and we got the Iron Patriot Mark II instead, I was a little bit disappointed. I loved the design, but I would have loved it more if it had the monochromatic color scheme, and more than 10 seconds of screen time. Should I try painting it and making it match the other War Machines? That could be a fun little side project. I'm gonna save the Spider-Verse figures for later. These animated figures need extra protection. Not that the live action ones don't need any, but I'm not as worried or bothered by the paint getting damaged. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna try and be as careful as possible. But with the live action figures, the paint rub wouldn't be as awkward, and I imagine them being a lot easier to fix, since they don't have to be perfect. Hey, do you have a Spider-Man or two? Are they lost in the Arachno-Humanoid Polymultiverse? Now you can download, print, and build your own Spider-Verse displays. There are 3 different versions for you to choose from. You can find them and other merch in my store. Link down below. Alright, back to the video. For those who watched my earlier content, I used to say that I'm not a fan of cel shading on action figures. But this X-Men 97 display changed my mind. It is one of my best displays, and the cel shading worked out so well. Now I want to do more. The quality of Marvel Legends fluctuates at times, but these 4 figures are very well done. While mine are obviously painted, the awesome sculpts did most of the work. Okay, if I had to remove a display for a new one, this one is likely the one to go first. I actually really like the display itself. The drones, the fairy, and the webs. And the water. Amazing. But I have to say, these figures aren't doing it for me anymore. And I blame Sony, or Marvel, for releasing so many Tom Holland suits every movie. It really devalues each suit for me. As for the villains, I don't know if it's because these are clearly members of the Sinister Six, or that they've kinda teased their return, but also not really. It makes them feel more like side villains than the main antagonists for Spider-Man. Imagine what No Way Home would be like if Vulture and Mysterio were in it. Wundagore. This will always be one of my favorite displays. I just feel like I captured the scene to the T. Wanda, the statue, the Star Portal, and Death Strange. Everything is perfect. 10 out of 10. These Loki figures are underwhelming to be honest, but the Citadel is just so cool. I will never get tired of looking at it. Age of Ultron. This is an interesting one. If I break it down, I wouldn't say I love it. That Iron Man figure is a knockoff of something, and that Hulk isn't that great. Ultron is fine. The only 2 figures I really like are Hulkbuster and Quicksilver. I can probably display Hulkbuster by itself, but the rest, probably not. But as a group, they look pretty cool. There's just the perfect amount of characters here. But I would totally swap that Iron Man with Wanda. That would make the perfect Age of Ultron display. I'm waiting, Hasbro. Vormir. One of my earlier displays. I don't make such huge displays for 2 characters anymore. But these 2 deserve it. Okay, almost there. My WandaVision display version 2. While the display itself is awesome, I miscalculated and made the magic effect too tall. Wanda is supposed to emerge out of the TV, and Agatha is also supposed to be fighting Wanda above Westview. Oops. These figures look so good next to each other. Vision can't leave Westview, so I'm gonna leave him there. The endgame final battle scene. This was what motivated it all. Let me show you what I found while I was packing. This was a sketch I made before I started the channel. You can see all the measurements I wrote down to ensure that everything fits. At the time, I didn't have Endgame Thor yet, and the Thanos I was gonna use was a knockoff. And it kinda turned out exactly how I envisioned it, so that's pretty awesome. 2 more displays to clear out. No Way Home. Not my favorite display, but I do like that I'm able to fit everyone in here. Okay, I know there's still the Lizard and the Electro, but I don't think I'll be getting them. There's not enough room for 2 more. I'm pretty satisfied with this current lineup. And last but not least, my visions. I feel like this is the perfect example of how a good display can elevate boring figures. And that's the rest of the live-action Marvel Legends. I've wrapped the ones that are more precious, and put them all in one box. Death Strange is too delicate, so I'll leave him on top, next to Hulkbuster. Let's hope they don't fight. As for the animated figures, I'm gonna wrap them all individually, and put them in a separate box. I'm a bit more worried about these guys. At least for the live action ones, I can pretend it's battle damage, but I can't really do that for these guys. They may not survive the trip, so let's have one last good look at them. If you don't hear me talk about them ever again, it probably means they didn't make it. I sometimes get asked this question: how do I prevent paint rub or chipping? I don't usually answer it because I feel like it's a case-by-case situation. I'm always very careful when posing my figures. It doesn't mean paint rub never happens, but as long as I'm careful, my figures are usually fine. Most of my figures also have a clear matte coat over them. And I think humidity plays a part in this as well. I can't really compare environments, but I haven't seen the paint flicking off on any of my figures due to humidity. Ah, the X-Men. They are so cool. Now the cell shading isn't anything too spectacular, but because the style is so consistent, it makes the entire collection look so much more premium. It's as if they just jumped out of my TV from the 90s. One of my proudest work. And here they are, all individually wrapped. That should work, right? Right? Oh wait, there is more. Gotta wrap these guys too. Alright, all my figures are packed. What's left are my displays. I know I made a bunch, but seeing them all laid out on the floor really shows just how many displays I've made. I did have to eliminate a few displays, but those ones aren't that memorable, or have been replaced by better ones, so that's okay. Can't forget the mini displays. Those are coming with me as well. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here. Give this video a thumbs up. Maybe I can move quicker and carry more toys with all the extra thumbs you're giving me. Subscribe to see my move journey. I should be at my new place by next week. So until then, stay inspired and I'll see you soon. I can make it, so can you.